Daniel Sports Center, we go over a March Madness game preview and prediction on the Sweet 16 matchup between the Houston Cougars and the Duke Blue Devils, two teams that have had strong runs so far in this tournament. You got Houston. This is a team that is especially known for their brutal defense, and Duke is known for a very strong offense. You got two teams that are experienced in March Madness, bound to be a great matchup. We'll be going over a full game preview and prediction on this matchup here today. Let's get started with their team trends. Houston knocked off Longwood and Texas A&M in their first two games, and the way this team beat Longwood, 86-46. Just a dominant win there for the Cougars, had no issues. They did have issues against Texas A&M, though. That game went into overtime, beat them 100-95. But honestly, for a while there, it really seemed like Houston was going to be the first one seed out of this tournament. Texas A&M had that late rally. The Cougars were in foul trouble as well. So for Houston even be in this position in the Sweet 16 once again, really goes to show how strong of a team this is even through adversity. But you look at Duke on the other side, beat Vermont 64-47, took care of James Madison 93-55. Honestly, JMU was a team that many were picking to knock off Duke there, and even in the first round, some were saying Vermont could have beaten the Blue Devils, but Duke has quieted the doubters real quick. Two dominant wins so far in this tournament, and they're a pretty dangerous team. Looking forward to the Sweet 16. Games be on Friday the 29th in Dallas. Tip-off is just after 9:30 Eastern. Spread's going Houston by 4.5 here, so Cougars are a slight favorite, which makes sense. Really in the Sweet 16, you got, all four of the one seeds are incredible teams. Houston, UConn, North Carolina, Purdue. But I will say each of the teams that these one seeds are facing, maybe besides San Diego State, I would say, are especially dangerous. I think Duke is a pretty dangerous team right now. And honestly, same with Alabama and Gonzaga. These teams just have some really strong momentum heading into the Sweet 16, having played very well so far in this tournament. But you look at the South region. On the other side, there's Marquette and NC State. Honestly, it doesn't matter who wins this game. I would probably favor them in the Elite Eight. NC State's had an incredible run to get to this point, so they're obviously dangerous. Now, Marquette as well, though, I feel like they've been pretty overlooked heading into this tournament. They're a team that tends to have disappointed in recent time in the tournament, so there is reason for that. But regardless, the winner of this matchup is in a pretty good position, I think, to get to the Final Four. Your stat comparison, Cougars 74 points a game, 58 points allowed. This is easily one of the best defenses in the country. You probably could argue the best defense, and you pair that up with an offense that is overall very efficient. That's why Houston is just such a tough team to beat this season, having lost only 4 games. But for Duke, 80 points a game, 67 points allowed, also a pretty efficient team overall. They're 2-3 against the top 25, and you compare that with Houston, who is 6-2. Your key points, Cougars are experienced in an elite defense. That's a very dangerous pair, and experience is huge, but also the defense is more reliable than an extremely good offense. You look at Alabama, Arizona, who are especially good on offense and very quick teams. Yeah, if they're hitting their shots, they're extremely dangerous and they could blow out pretty much any team. But Houston on the other side, having a strong defense, but also pair that up with a pretty good offense overall, a pretty efficient offense. That's why this team is so dangerous and why many are saying they could win a national title. And this would also be their third Elite Eight in 4 seasons. The Cougars have been in this position before. It's just a matter of whether or not they can get there once again. And for Duke, a dominant start to the tournament for them. That's why they're dangerous. This is a dark horse. They're overlooked, and that's a very dangerous thing. And this is a stronger team on offense, although their defense is pretty good. And once again, this is an overlooked team that I would say definitely shouldn't be. I haven't seen a lot of brackets where Tennessee went too far. And, most of the time they were overshadowed by Houston. So this is a chance once again for Duke to prove everyone wrong, and that's once again a pretty dangerous position to be in. But with that, let's get a prediction here for Houston and Duke coming up here in the Sweet 16. In the end, I do have to go with the 1 seed, just a matter of how much. I do think it's going to be a pretty close game overall, going 74-68 towards the Cougars. It's just LJ Cryer, Jamal Shead. This team is so tough to bet against right now, and it's just the defense of this team. I know Texas A&M gave them a run, but the Aggies are also a very physical and tough team, and I feel like Houston's physicality is an advantage against Duke here. So I do want to go with the Cougars, but in a close one. I can't imagine this is a blowout by any means, especially with how Duke looked in the first weekend. So I'm going to go 55% towards Houston. Spread's 4.5 towards the Cougars. I'm taking Houston to cover the spread and the over in the end. But with that, let me know your thoughts in the comments below on this matchup. Who do you think proceeds on? And I appreciate you guys all watching as always. My name is Evan. This is All Sports Central. Stay tuned for more. We'll catch you on the next one.